Welcome to your town. I'm Jessica Ryan. I'm the director of the United Way of the Upper Ohio Valley, but also a really big community advocate. And the point of the show is to give voices to community organizations that are doing great things, which makes me super excited to bring on Wheeling Heritage. Alex Panis is the director of, I knew I was going to forget, the program manager of Wheeling Heritage, and a friend of mine. We've worked together, volunteered together for quite some time. So I'm really excited to have you on, Alex. Good to see you.
Yeah, thanks for having me this morning.
So let's talk about Wheeling Heritage a little bit. It's one of the organizations that's super valuable to this community, but not many people know exactly what you do. So can you give a little overview?
Yeah. So in its most simplest form, Wheeling Heritage, we are a nonprofit that is working to revitalize Wheeling. And we do that through a lot of different avenues. We're probably most known for the work that we do in historic preservation, and we also do a lot of arts and culture programming and small business development. So we're a really dynamic organization. We have a lot of different things going on at any given time, but the driving force behind everything we do is to make our community a revitalized, great place to live for everyone.
While also holding on to some of the history in the community and making sure that people that are here are proud to live here, proud of the history, and then proud of the development and where Wheeling is headed.
Yes, absolutely.
And you guys have a lot going on. I know June's a special month and you have some programs going on now. Can you tell us a little bit about this?
Yeah. So Juneteenth, it's on June 19th, but one of the biggest events, one of our signature events is Show of Hands. That's coming up on June 29th. That's at 6 o'clock at the Artisan Center. And that is, for anyone who's never heard of Show of Hands, that is sort of like a local version of a Shark Tank where 4 local entrepreneurs make a pitch to an audience with their plans for their business. It could be really basic, like they're just starting their business, or it could be more established businesses that want to expand or do something different. And everyone in the audience pays $5 at the door, and in exchange for that $5, they get a ballot. They vote for their favorite presenter, and all that money goes towards the winner with the most votes at the end of the night. So it's great for so many reasons because, everyone in the audience gets to learn about all of these great local businesses and what their ideas are and different places to check out around town after the event. And it also gives a platform for these entrepreneurs to get out in front of a different audience and just share their passion with everyone. So it's really a great event. So if no one's ever been to it, highly encourage that you come.
I've been to Show of Hands and I love it for all the reasons that you just said. And you're right in talking about the promotion of the organizations and the companies that they run, because a lot of the times the promotion around Show of Hands is almost as valuable as the event itself, because you're constantly highlighting the organization. So definitely go to Wheeling Heritage page, check that out. Do you guys have an event page for the event on the 29th?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, Wheeling Heritage / Show of Hands, or you could just go to our main page and you'll be able to find it pretty easily. And we're always looking for new ways to help support entrepreneurs through this event and through our other programming. So we're really excited this time. We're in a unique position. During COVID, we switched Show of Hands to a virtual format. And once we brought it back to in-person, everyone they were missing the videos. They kind of like the behind the scene action that they were seeing of the actual business owners at their shops doing what they do every day. So we've kind of combined the two and made it very beneficial for the business owners by working with them ahead of time. We're coming up with like 30-second or 1-minute teaser videos where you get to see their workspace, get to have a little introduction that'll play before their presentation. And our team, Wheeling Heritage Media, does all of that work. And after the event, they're going to, quickly edit and give those videos back to the entrepreneurs, and they can use that to, place commercial spots, put it on their website, put it on their social media. So really helping them market their business and show off their best assets. And the winner of Show of Hands this time, we're also going to provide them with some free advertising on WeLunk, which is our online magazine.
That's such a good segue. One more thing about Show of Hands. It's a really good networking opportunity too. So you go, as she mentioned, it's a River City, it's $5, and you go, there's some food there, there's a bar, you can have some drinks, network around with a lot of people that are trying to help the community move forward. So I find a lot of value in that side of it. And in addition, I'm hearing from some entrepreneurs and some new people in the community that are trying to make it better by starting businesses. starting or a new business is not necessarily super lucrative and super profitable right off the bat. Most people do it because they have a passion and because they want to bring something new to our community. So support them, check them out on their Facebook page, website, all that. And if you want to come to the event, it's the 29th. Okay, so segue into WeLunk. I've had the privilege of working with some of your writers and on a couple of different stories in the past, whether it's been our special events or someone else's or community things that we're involved in. So I love it. Tell me a little bit about what you guys have going on there at WeLunk.
Yeah, WeLunk, as I said, it's our online magazine. It's not something that we had created on our own. This was a previously existing platform that was really started by a group of people that loved what was loved the fresh energy that was happening in Wheeling in like the 2010s, and wanted to have a place to share that. And whenever the opportunity presented itself for Wheeling Heritage to take on ownership of Wheeling, it really made perfect sense because it lined up so much with what we were trying to do as well. So we share a lot on Wheeling, things that align with our mission. So we share stories about the history of Wheeling, small business, and new things that are happening around town, events, really anything. We first and foremost wanted to be a platform for people to have their stories told and their voices heard. And some ways that we've done that in the recent past, some projects that we've been most excited for is during Black History Month, we worked with the YWCA to do some oral histories of people just sharing their memories of Wheeling growing up during segregation era, all the way through today. So that was a really cool project that we did, just hearing history in their own words. And then this month with Pride Month, we were looking through content that we already had, kind of scouring the internet, figuring out what events or what's kind of going on with LGBTQ community in Wheeling. And we realized that we don't have a lot and we're not doing as good of a job as we want to do. So rather than fabricating content and just trying to push something out there, we were very open and upfront and saying, hey, we're not telling a part of our story that we know is out there. So we want to hear from you. And from that, we actually were put in contact with the Friendlier City Project, which is a newer group in Wheeling that is trying to be a safe space and a community for the LGBTQ plus community here. And they have a ton of really cool initiatives going on. And we're so excited to be able to share that on our platform. One of the things they're doing is a sticker campaign for businesses that are affirming and inclusive. So being able to share that, so one, people can know to look for it, or business owners can know like, oh, hey, I want to be a part of that. Being able to share that on the platform is so important.
Awesome. So you're telling all the stories of all the folks in Wheeling, and obviously Pride Month is a perfect time to celebrate that. Anything else, like if people want to get in contact with you, if they have a story to tell, if they have some deep history in Wheeling that they don't feel is being put out there, is Wheeling a platform that they could use?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have two different options. One, our stories are told by and for the community. So we have a team of freelance writers that get paid to publish their content on our platform. So just going to wheelunk.com/write for us has all of the information about the types of stories that we cover and just some of the specifics about that. And it's very accessible and information to get in contact with us to get started. And then if you're someone who just has a really good idea, like, oh, I know this funky little event, or my neighbor, was some famous person that we don't know about, you can submit a story and just tell us about it. And we actually have, especially for the historical content, one of the things that we do behind the scenes is we have an AmeriCorps member that works with us every year, and they cover a lot of the historical content on Wheeling, because we do realize that not everyone in the community has a history degree or is interested in doing like in-depth research. So we do have someone on our team at all times that can kind of pick up those stories and do some of the heavy lifting on that. So it opens it up for our community writers to kind of have fun with whatever content they want to publish.
That's great. And they reach out to you on the website, through your Facebook page, call, all of those
any
things?
of that, but our website, wheelunk.com/write for us. There's also a button right at the top where you can submit an idea or learn more about becoming a writer.
All right, great. And then art is something that is really prevalent in this community that you have to be looking for it to be highlighted, but you guys are doing a great job in highlighting local artists, correct?
Yes, we have so much going on in the arts right now. don't have enough time to talk about all of it, but I think what we're most well known for is our Artisan Center shop, which is a platform for local artists to sell their goods and bring them to market. So that has been something that we've operated for over 20 years. And we recently just opened our second location up in Ogilvie just over a year ago. And we've been building some programming around that in the last year to really put our artists front and center, which is we've been doing that through our artist spotlight series. So every month on the first Friday of the month, we invite a local artist to come talk about, what is their inspiration? How did they get into their craft? And we really try to build in some sort of hands-on component so people can learn about their particular skill and leave with something tangible at the end of the night. So the past few that we've done have featured Mindy Yarborough, who has done some wheeling coloring books. So we just had an adult coloring night. Most recently, we had Colleen Kaminsky. She's the owner of Colleen's Crafty Creations and makes all kinds of really cool soap. So she showed us how to make soap. And I have some really exciting ones coming up this summer. We have Jess. She's a local watercolor artist. She's going to lead a workshop. We have some other fun things in the works for the summer as well.
I think that that's a part of the community that maybe is underappreciated. It's one of those, if you don't know, you don't know kind of situations, and being able to have the offices that you guys have where people can go in and explore, even if you don't think you're artsy, like you just heard about a couple of different things that you may not consider. It's a type of craft. When I know Colleen and her soaps are awesome and everything that she produces is great, I'm a big fan. But something like that, you might think maybe you're not into paintings on a wall, but it's more than that. And the Artisan Center is a really good example of showing the different types of things that people are creating right here in our community.
Yeah, absolutely. You do not have to be artsy to appreciate the arts. If you don't, just like you said, you put it so well, you don't have to hang something on your wall. You can get a really cool mug made by a local ceramicist. You can buy a sticker and stick it on your water bottle that was made from someone living right here in Wheeling, and those dollars stay local, and it means so much more when you're supporting local.
It's really cool too that, a lot of times if you do have something hanging on your wall, it's possible you don't know who the artist is. So having a mug on your desk that wasn't corporately made with the logos attached to it, and having something that was created here by hands of folks that are in your community is super special. And I think that's another example of something that you guys do, that if you hear of Wheeling Heritage and you don't know that the name doesn't explain all of what you do, it's impossible to make a title that would explain that you give all of these folks platforms, local businesses, local vendors, people who are in the community that want to get more involved can do that through you. You can follow Wheeling and just read the stories and learn more about your community than you ever have. And at the United Way, I always have to tell people what we do. Like, I know who you are, or I've heard of you, but what do you do? So always look up and focus on organizations in the area. And if you hear somebody having an event, look up the organization, find out a little bit more about what they do, because there's so much going on here that is so valuable to folks that they don't even know is happening right here. So definitely get more involved as much as you can. Follow Wheeling, read up on their stories. Submit some ideas. There's so much, I guarantee, right? You probably think about that all the time. There's a million stories out there that haven't been told yet. If you think you have one of them, reach out, let the community be motivated or feel the pride of our community for those stories.
Yeah, absolutely. Our team talks about that all the time. We'll sit around and we'll come up with a content schedule for the month. And, we think we're hitting most of what's happening, but we know we're missing some just because we're, 7 people plus our team of writers. We know that there's more out there. So we always appreciate the input from the community.
Good stuff. Well, thank you, Alex.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Great. I even learned a lot from what we've done, and I need to pay more attention and follow more of the stories. I go to the page and I read up on what's going on anytime that somebody reaches out. But I feel like that's something top of mind that would be valuable for me as a proud West Virginian, proud Ohio Valley person that would be interested in reading more. So I'm glad I got to talk to you
today. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks, Alex.
Have a good day.
Thanks. We'll be right back. More your town.
Hi guys, I'm Heather Melman. I'm a nursing major at West Liberty University, and today I'm going to show you around my hometown, Blair, Ohio. So first off, we're going to go into Gula's and grab some lunch. So growing up in Bel Air, it's a very close-knit community. Everybody knows everybody. Everyone knows you or your family. Everyone's very supportive. What I like most about Bel Air is just that family atmosphere. We are big on pride, spirit, and tradition. You know, you need to take self-pride in yourself, your teammates, whether it be in the classroom or just in general. Take a stroll around the Bel Air City Park. So I chose to go into nursing at West Lib. I went up and went on a visit that day and talking to the professors and faculty staffs and a couple other students actually to get a taste of what it's like to be a nursing student at West Lib. I knew then and there that I had to go find out a way, like, how can I get here? What do I need to do? I chose nursing as my major because I really care about people. I want to help others, and just putting a smile on someone's face makes my day. So I just thought it'd be the best fit for me. So now we're gonna head into my alma mater, Bel Air High School. So in high school, I was very involved in every club, organization possible. I had a lot of leadership opportunities, which really helped me get connected to the faculty and staff at Bel Air, which we formed those connections and bonds, and just coming back and seeing them and just, you know, reconnecting was a great experience today. So just like Bel Air, West Lib is perfect to get connected, put yourself out there. The faculty are always willing to help you. They're there for you. West Liberty would be a great place for anyone from Bel Air. It's away from home, but it's close to home. So, you know, go up to school Monday through Friday and you're in a whole different atmosphere, but I am close enough to come home, see friends and family on the weekend. But you definitely get that sense of independence since you are out of your hometown. The DQ and grab something sweet. So another great thing about West Liberty is they offer the metro rate for someone like myself down here in Bel Air or in the area. They offer a metro rate where you don't have to pay out-of-state tuition, so it really makes it an affordable college experience. So West Lib has honestly become my home away from home. I love it there and I always feel safe, comfortable, and I'm proud to be there. Thank you guys for checking out my hometown today, and be sure to check out West Liberty University.
Welcome back to Your Town. I'm Jess Ryan with United Way, and I'm really excited to bring in Susan Harrison, who is the Executive Director of CASA. And if you're not familiar with CASA, it's a really important organization that helps kids with in foster care specifically, and the court advocate. I'm not going to be the one to explain. I'm going to let Susan talk a little bit about the CASA, what they are, and where the need is right now, because I know it's very large.
Thank you. Well, thanks for having me. And yes, I'm with the CASA program. And if you're not familiar, it stands for Court Appointed Special Advocates. And CASA is a program that's nationwide. There are over 950 programs across the country and in all of the states. But every state kind of looks a little bit different. And so in the state of West Virginia, the CASA program is a volunteer group that advocates for kids in the foster care system. So in the state of West Virginia, when a child is removed from their home due to abuse and neglect, the parents have an opportunity to correct the conditions that led to the removal of the children. And we call that an improvement period. And in these cases, mom gets an attorney and dad gets an attorney, and also the children get an attorney appointed to them, and that's called a guardian ad litem. And that's kind of where the things are different from state to state. So some states, the CASA is the guardian ad litem, and sometimes CASAs are attorneys, and sometimes they're not. So in West Virginia, we do not have to be an attorney to be a CASA volunteer. And really what we say is that you just have to have a heart for children. and be willing, to meet with a child every month to get to know them and well enough to advocate for their needs. So our volunteers come from all walks of life. A good portion of them are retired professionals, teachers, nurses, people who have seen, chronic neglect throughout their careers and then want to do something. But we have lots of young students from different organizations. We have interns from West Liberty and Bethany that come to our organization and come on as volunteers and stay with us. So you can, when a volunteer comes to our organization, we provide all the training. So this is most time intensive part of CASA is going through the training process. So we do training on the law, on child development, on how to advocate, how to work through conflict resolution, those types of things. And then the judge will appoint you to a case. And then you get to know the children and able to advocate for their needs.
And part of the ideal person that you would want to have come in, the volunteers to come in, there really isn't a box they have to fit into, correct?
No, I mean, I think we say anyone who has a heart for kids can become a CASA volunteer. I'd like to say that I have, a certain volunteer, but I really don't. I have those retired professionals. I have someone who's been with our organization for almost 15 years as a volunteer, and he is retired out of the school system. I have people who work full-time in the school system, teachers and administrators who work full-time still and give their time to the children. We have stay-at-home moms, we have students, we have people that have part-time jobs and full-time jobs. I mean, the reality is that anybody can be a CASA volunteer. We do background checks, of course, because we're working with children. We ask that you have a clear criminal background, but especially no crimes against the person. A lot of times people come into the field of social work because they have some type of their own personal trauma, maybe domestic violence in their home growing up. Maybe they have come through an addiction. And so we just ask that you have done the work to work on yourselves and that you're in a good place and ready to help other people. So sometimes, these cases can bring up a lot of past feelings. And so we just want people to be in a good place so that they're not doing damage to themselves while they're being a volunteer.
And we've talked about compassion fatigue and what that looks like, and the ways that you can work through some of that as well. But it is a heavy job to hear about the trauma that has gone through a kid's life. So you have to be prepared for that. But it can start as a conversation before the training starts to see if it's a good fit for you. So if you consider that you do have that love for children, definitely reach out to CASA. But if people, obviously we want the volunteers, if they still want to be involved, but maybe don't want to be a CASA themselves, what are some other ways that they can get involved? I know that from a donation standpoint, we have a great relationship with Ball Toyota, and we've been able to partner with all the CASAs throughout the state of West Virginia to make sure that we're providing some funding so that kids can have the items that they need to feel comfort or value, necessities, things that are comforting to the kids. But outside of that, are you accepting other donations, other types of volunteers?
Yeah, well, we're a nonprofit organization. We got no problem with you sending us a donation. That's always very appreciated. We do a lot of stuff all year round for our kids, from Christmas and Easter, and also prom and graduation and those types of things. But we maintain a foster closet here, and in our foster closet, we have gently used donations, and we only accept certain sizes. So check with us before you bring your donations here. We have an abundance of some sizes and not enough of others. But we get a lot of stuff new with tags on it and things. We want our foster children to have the same things as any other kid would have. So we do ask for a lot of newer things. If you see a great sale on something and you can pick up shorts for $1, think about CASA when you're doing that. But we need volunteers to help us maintain that foster closet. So it is a heavy task to sort through the clothes, fold the clothes, stack the shelves, go ahead and do the inventory and all that. So if you want to work with CASA, but you're not sure about being an advocate, it's a great place to start. It's also a good place for community service hours. So if you have to get 50 community service hours, for school, we certainly encourage you to give us a call to think about serving in that way. We're always looking for good board members too. We have a fantastic board of directors here. We meet every other month, and we have 2 fundraisers a year. So it's not a high commitment board, but they are, super involved. And so that's an option as well.
And then if anybody has, is your office just here, first of all? You have an office?
No, I have 3. Yeah, we have 3 offices. We have an office here in Wheeling is our main office where our administrative offices are. And then we have satellite offices in Moundsville and in New Martinsville.
Okay, so that was my segue to the next question of sometimes when there is an office in Wheeling, folks get under the assumption that they're just servicing people in the Wheeling, Ohio County area, but your CASA reaches far into other counties as well.
Yeah, so in West Virginia, we have 10 programs throughout the state, and those 10 programs cover 33 counties in West Virginia. So each of us are independent of one another with the same mission and objective. So here, my program serves Ohio, Marshall, Wetzel, and Tyler counties. So that's part of the 1st Judicial Circuit and all of the 2nd Judicial Circuit. So we work in front of the circuit court judges. So here, Judge Oliash and Judge Sims, Judge Hummel and Judge Kramer are the judges that we appear in front of.
Okay, and then, so just again, to be very clear, organizations that are located in Wheeling doesn't mean they just service ones in Wheeling. So that's a very common misconception, and we want to make sure that we break that as often as we possibly can. So you can support if you're not in Wheeling, if you're not in Ohio County, but you're in the counties moving south down the Panhandle, there's still ways for you to get involved, to contribute, to help kids in your area through volunteering, through donations, things like that. And a very good point of reaching out before dropping off donations. That's doing a very good solid to the organizations. We only have so much space, and we appreciate all donations. It does not mean that donations are not appreciated. But we do have Lisa for Kids coming up, Susan. So if you have kids in the system, the applications are open now on our website for back to school shoes for kids, and those are all brand new. And as you mentioned, finding things that are on sale if you just walk past a bin and it's the dollars of whatever, the shoes, the shorts, the clothes, that's a great way to make a small amount of money that you may have to donate really go a long way, especially with kids. Sometimes donated shoes are their snow boots and their summer shoes and their play shoes and their school shoes. So anything like that is super valuable to help. I know that you mentioned that you guys had really successful fundraisers, so congratulations on those. But if you're looking to support CASA in a different way, financially, keep an eye out. They have some really fun, unique, special events that you can participate in, and supporting local special events is supporting those organizations directly. It's a large part of most of nonprofit budgets are those special events, to make sure you're supporting them as well. Susan, anything else you want to let people know that you guys might have coming up?
I don't think so. I think you'll find us out at outreach events. We really try to get out and do as many outreach events as we possibly can. We're doing some Waterfront Wednesdays here in Wheeling, but we're doing, the back to school fairs in each of the counties, and Tyler County Fair, Marshall County Fair. We always set up a table, so look for us and gather some information. And the biggest thing that we can tell you is that we recruit volunteers through word of mouth. So if you meet someone who's thinking about how do I give back to kids in need, or a young person who's really looking to break into the field of social work and they want to get their toes wet, send them our way. They do have to be 21 years old before they can be a CASA volunteer. But like I said, those community service hours where they're doing other work besides advocacy is a great opportunity for them to build their resume and work with a local nonprofit to kind of just understand how the social service system works.
Great. And then if people want to reach out to you, what's the best way for them to reach out?
Yeah, we have a fantastic website. It's wvcasaforchildren.org. And so, I really encourage you to go take a look. All of our programming is listed there, our contact information, an inquiry form, stuff about our special events. It's all on our website. So that would be the first place I would go to, but we're also on all of the social media. We have an Instagram page and a Facebook page, Twitter. So, you can certainly find us there. And I think there's CASA Wheeling is our tag there. But if you put in CASA for children, it should come up.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining the show today and telling people a little bit about CASA and how they can get more involved in their community.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
We will come back next week with a couple of new folks, but keep in mind what we mentioned earlier. If there's an organization in this area and you hear a fundraiser is coming up for CASA and you're not familiar with CASA, do your research to figure out what's there. You would be able to find lots of ways to get involved with organizations in this community, and to feel good about this area that we live in. It really helps to be involved in the community. Wheelunk and Wheeling Heritage are also a great resource that you've heard from earlier today. There's a lot going on here that you may not know about, so definitely look into it, become a stronger member of your community. There's a lot of things going crazy around us, but really what brings it home is the community involvement and your connection to your community. And you heard from two great organizations today that can help with that connection. So we will see you next week. Thanks for watching.
Hi, I'm Emma Connors. I'm a marketing student at West Liberty, and today I'm going to show you around my hometown of St. Clairsville, Ohio. Stop is Giacinto's Gelato and Cafe to grab a bite to eat. I'll have a grilled cheese with the gluten-free panini bread. Most people know St. Clairsville as the mall and the commercialized area, but what a lot of people don't know is that it has a lot of hidden gems and really cool, quaint little places. So, for example, one of my favorite things to do is walk down Main Street and visit all of the small businesses and locally owned shops. To Lendon's Flower and Garden to pick out some flowers. I found that St. Clairsville and West Liberty have a lot of similarities because of, well, the proximity, and I also feel like, much like St. Clairsville, West Liberty is very community oriented, and you don't have to go far to find a smiling face. As a commuter student from St. Clairsville up to West Liberty, I really like that I can still live in St. Clairsville close to the things that I like to do, but I still can get the full college experience and take advantage of all of West Liberty's opportunities. And plus, I love the pretty drive up to West Liberty every day. Now I'm headed for a walk on the St. Clairsville Bike Trail. So I would recommend West Liberty to students from St. Clairsville and Belmont County because it really gives the full university experience with a lot to choose from, like activities and athletics, but you can still be close enough to home to go home or live at home. Plus, at West Liberty, there is a metro rate, so for students like me from Belmont County, I don't have to pay full out-of-state tuition, and most of the College Credit Plus college credits will transfer into West Liberty from the area. Our last stop is Kirk's, where my sister and I are going to grab some ice cream. I chose West Liberty because I'm a homebody and I still wanted to live at home with my family, but I wanted to get the full college experience, so it was close enough for me to get that university feel but still get to live at home. And I chose my major because I someday want to open my own business, and so it was important to me to have a solid business background when I go into that someday. And it's a plus that I can someday pursue a graduate degree at West Liberty if I choose. Thanks for visiting my hometown of St. Clairsville, Ohio, and make sure to check out West Liberty University.